In 1959, after Chinese People's Liberation Army troops invaded Lhasa. Since then, the Dalai Lama, one of the best known faces in the world, has made India his home, preaching ahimsa and oneness of humanity, making Buddhist philosophy popular across the globe. Despite his advancing age, the Dalai Lama retains an impish sense of humor and a realistic approach to Tibet's struggle for identity. In this interview with Strat News Global, he talks about the importance of the Nalanda philosophy of Buddhism being India's longest serving guest and approach to Tibet's struggle for identity. Thank you very much for your time, His Holiness. It's a privilege and an honor, and always good to come and listen to you and your wisdom. You have spread compassion and oneness of the world for so long. Do you think the world needs more of it from more different people?
Certainly. When you're born, you see children, you see, never ask, what is your faith? What is your nationality? Children, as a human brothers, sisters, play together. So, that is the beginning of our life. Then I think the problem is existing education. There's too much emphasis, differences, nationality, religious faith. And in this country, different castes, like that. So that is the source of problem. Now today, entire human being, actually we are same human being, part of human community, or 7 billion human beings are one human community.
True.
We have to live side by side. The different faith, different nationality is secondary. So therefore, now in education,
he was forced to flee his homeland in 1959 after Chinese People's Liberation Army troops invaded Lhasa. Since then, the Dalai Lama, one of the best known faces in the world, has made India his home, preaching ahimsa and oneness of humanity, making Buddhist philosophy popular across the globe. Despite his advancing age, the Dalai Lama retains an impish sense of humor and a realistic approach to Tibet's struggle for identity. In this interview with Strat News Global, he talks about the importance of the Nalanda philosophy of Buddhism being India's longest serving guest and approach to Tibet's struggle for identity. Thank you very much for your time, His Holiness. It's a privilege and an honor, and always good to come and listen to you and your wisdom. You have spread compassion and oneness of the world for so long. Do you think the world needs more of it from more different people?
Certainly. When you're born, you see children, you see, never ask, what is your faith? What is your nationality? Children, as a human brothers, sisters, play together. So, that is the beginning of our life. Then I think the problem is existing education. There's too much emphasis, differences, nationality, religious faith. And in this country, different castes, like that. So that is the source of problem. Now today, entire human being, actually we are same human being, part of human community, or 7 billion human beings are one human community.
True.
We have to live side by side. The different faith, different nationality is secondary. So therefore, now in education, we should pay more attention about this basic human value, India's tradition, ahimsa and karuna. When we talk about karuna, not only human being, but also animals, ahimsa, don't harm, and a more compassionate attitude towards animal. And then also now today, India's ahimsa also include respect environment,
Right.
not destroy. So India's over 3,000 years old ahimsa and karuna, that is individual level in order to be happy, calm human being. These message very important, very relevant.
True.
And then global level, in order to bring happy humanity and peaceful world, these things are very relevant.
Exactly. And you have done
Now,
this
we
for
too
more
much
than...
sort of was the emphasis, differences. At the beginning, when we were born, 7 billion human beings, same way born, and the same way die. So between there, we too much emphasis on different differences, and then create strong concept of we and they, and the fight, kill.
Right. But you have spread compassion for so long now, 6 decades, 61 years in India. And do you think this institution of Dalai Lama needs to be perpetuated, needs to continue in the coming decades also?
I think 69, I already sort of expressed whether this institution of Dalai Lama should continue or not up to Tibetan people.
Right.
And now I can say Tibetan and Himalayan people and Mongolia. The institution at one period it developed, at one period will go. Not important. Important is knowledge. Now here, in our case, the knowledge of Buddhism in general, and particularly Nalanda tradition, Sanskrit tradition, that is very scientific. And I always was telling people, we can make distinction, certain sort of as a prayer to Buddha, that is a religious side. Then in Nalanda tradition, a lot of explanation about the human psychology, human mind, and philosophy, like quantum physics, very clear in Sanskrit tradition. And then logic. So analyze, everything analyze, not just the faith.
Right.
Easily accept no. Buddha himself is telling us, you should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment. So that's very scientific.
Exactly.
So now the knowledge, Buddha Dharma, we can continue. So that is important. The institution, including Dalai Lama institution, that's related with individual, not important. I do not think very, very important about Buddha Dharma. No. In case 15 Dalai Lama come, you see, a very naughty person, then you say, no use. Now, I think last, the 13 Dalai Lama, some are quite naughty.
Really?
For example, 6th Dalai Lama, very naughty.
Very naughty. Correct. But you yourself have a streak of happiness, and you're always smiling. That's the thing that people are looking forward to. But so when people say that there could be a reincarnation, and how does reincarnation work? Do you think that the reincarnation should be with the Chinese people, or do you think the reincarnation will happen automatically according to your teachings?
Like first Dalai Lama, when he become old, then he occasionally expressed, now I'm too old. Then some of his disciples, great scholars, they express to him, you already certain sort of clear indication, you go to heaven. Karsa Hindi kya? Sukhavati. Oh.
Okay.
Then he answered, I have no desire to born Sukhavati.
Okay.
My desire is born area where more suffering there, and I can use something to serve the concerned people. That is his wish. So my own case, I'm Buddhist monk, Buddhist practitioner. I never contend, I have the name of Dalai Lama, I never contended. I consider I'm simple Buddhist monk and a daily basis practice. So my sort of determination, my prayer, as one Shantadeva's sort of prayer mentioned, so long space remain, so long sentient being remain, I will remain in order to serve.
Right.
That's a source of determination. I practice that. So I have not much. So therefore, it's quite 100% sure my next life where I can be some useful to the concerned sort of community. So that's my wish.
Right.
I don't care this institution. Firstly, Buddha's institution, not their Buddha's institution. All those Nalanda masters,
Right.
No one have institution.
Right.
So institution, some connection with the political matter. So since 2001, correct? 2001, I totally retired
Right.
from political responsibility.
Yes.
And I also made clear, I decided in future, in case Dalai Lama come, the Dalai Lama, no political power. Now now modern time, we must have democratically elected political leadership.
Right.
So I already sort of retired, and we already achieved, at least among refugee community, we have elected political leadership. So in the future, also that way, if Chinese allowed, Chinese will not allow their own sort of leader, not through free election. I think as far as sort of democratic practice is concerned, we handful Tibetan, we more advanced,
Right.
freely elected leader, political leadership.
Yes.
China, totalitarian system, like that. So therefore, I am not much concerned about the institution of Dalai Lama.
But when the Chinese say that we will choose the next Dalai Lama, what is your reaction to that?
That is, you see, look, now Panchen Lama, I recognize one boy through traditional way investigation.
Right.
And then Chinese officially recognize another Panchen Lama. Now, officially, there is Panchen Lama. But the Chinese, among Chinese also, they usually describe a false Panchen Lama. Cha Panchen Lama, correct, false way.
False.
False.
Or fake.
Fake Panchen Lama. Among Chinese themselves. And among Tibetan, you see, not much sort of faith.
That's right.
So, if in case Dalai Lama institution is suppose remain, and the next 15 Dalai Lama is decided by Chinese, then Tibetan, I think, I do not believe that.
Exactly. They'll not accept
yes.
the Chinese choice. But coming to the Chinese dealings with you and the way they describe you, sometimes they describe you as a separatist or splittist. And you've been hearing this for a long time. But do you think there is any chance, first of all, do you desire to ever go back to Potala Palace or to Lhasa?
Since 1979, you see, we developed direct contact with Chinese government. That also, you see, Pandit Nehru advised me, America will not fight with China, with Chinese, in order to liberate Tibet. He told me.
He told you?
Yes.
Okay.
Say, sooner or later, you have to deal with Chinese directly.
Right.
Very practical. So then, in early 50s, early 60s,
right.
You see, we raised Tibetan issue at the UN. Few years, Pandit Nehru said, there's not much useful. Then, 74, we decided not to raise Tibetan issue at the UN. We try to direct contact with Chinese government in case some possibility happen.
Right.
So, 74, we decided not seeking separation, independence. So we usually call middle way.
Right.
Or not accept the existing sort of political situation.
Correct.
Then another one, complete independence. Between there, meaningful autonomy.
Right.
And that also not only is about 2 million Tibetan in autonomous region, but those area Chinese constitution recognized as a Tibetan area.
Yes.
Altogether, then population around 6 to 7 million. Chinese constitution is provided all these small Tibetan area considered as a Tibetan area. So autonomous region, autonomous district, autonomous prefecture, so on.
County.
County, like that.
That's right, yes.
So we should have, since constitution recognized as a Tibetan group, so we should have same right to preserve our own culture, including our own language. And then most important is Tibetan knowledge. Originally come from Nalanda. So now, very, I think, marvelous sort of knowledge in Nalanda, like psychology, philosophy, like quantum physics. You see, the Nalanda institution, not just Buddhist sort of institution, but truly learning center. And Buddhist, then logic, all these academic subjects.
Right.
These days, I made sort of distinction, religion and academic.
Yes. Correct.
The certain sort of Buddhist practice, that is for Buddhist. But the psychology and then physics, then Praman, also the logic, these are academic subjects.
Right.
So these really marvelous sort of knowledge which develop in Nalanda institution, that these knowledge, 8th century, Tibetan emperor invited the 8th century, at that time, the top master of Nalanda, his name Shantarakshita, he invited to Tibet. In spite you see, 7th century Tibetan king marry with Chinese princess. Very close link.
Right.
Sometimes I sort of, little joke, you see, the 7th century Tibetan emperor, certainly he loves Chinese princess and Chinese food. But Chinese letter, he found too complicated. So you see, he decided copy from Devanagari,
Oh, I see.
India's
Okay.
and alphabet.
The script, yeah.
Oh yes, yes. So 7th century, the Tibetan king, you see, developed Tibetan script. And then 8th century, Tibetan emperor, he himself, I think, son of one Chinese princess, I think, but and a very close link with Chinese, but he determined, as far as Buddhism is concerned, not through Chinese language, but directly from Nalanda. So he advised the Nalanda master, Chandarakshita. So when he reached Tibet, he advised Tibetan king, since you have your own script, writing, so therefore, now instead of study Sanskrit, Pali, you should translate
Into Tibetan.
to Tibetan.
So how do you deal with the Chinese directly, except despite dealing with them directly, they have not really looked at...
No, wait. So then the translation started. So eventually 300 volumes translation, mainly Sanskrit and Pali and some Nepalese, like that. So we always kept 300 volumes. Then these are the sources of our Buddhist knowledge. So now China, since some publication, which also for example, the Buddhist science and the modern science, we already sort of translated in Chinese language and some other more foreign language, and the Hindi translation also there. So these publication, China, public level control everything. But some university, they have the sort of opportunity to receive such books. So then some Chinese professor, you see, expressed that Tibetan Buddhism is true Nalanda tradition.
I see.
And that Nalanda tradition, very scientific religion, they say. So now China, Buddhist population, few years ago, I think 3 years ago, one Chinese university in Peking survey how many Buddhists. Then they say over 300 millions.
Very big number.
Now since then, there's a year by year rapidly increase Buddhist population.
Right.
Now today in China, Buddhist population around, I think, 600 millions. Now.
Very big number.
Big number. I think China, communist, actually, because of tradition, China, Buddhist country.
Right.
The Buddhism also they brought to China by one Chinese scholar. He came to India and joined Nalanda and study. And some historians say he even met the top student, scholar student of Nagarjuna, Nagabuddhi, his top sort of disciple, great scholar. So Chinese monk Tangsen, when he came to Nalanda, that top great scholar, very old, still there. So he met and he received some teaching. So Tibetan Buddhism, as I mentioned earlier, 8th century, Nalanda master introduced. The Chinese Buddhists also, you see, Tangsen, who study Nalanda. So same source. So now today, many Chinese now follow Tibetan Buddhism. And whenever opportunity come, Chinese from mainland China come to see me.
Come to see you, yeah. They do, yeah.
So therefore, now regarding political matter, now among the top leader Chinese, they already develop some kind of awareness. They are past over 60, 70 years, their policy regarding Tibet is unrealistic.
Okay.
Now they thinking seriously, try to follow more realistic approach about Tibetan case.
Right.
So therefore, now since last few years, as I mentioned earlier,
1709 you mentioned.
So since then, now continuously, official or formal sort of delegation, when they are, now that cease, but individual Chinese, some officials also come here,
right,
meet me. That continuously.
I see.
So they very much sort of, also they eager my return. I always telling them, visit China. Yes, I'm very much sort of willing and meet those Chinese Buddhists, and also some scholars. But return, too early to decide.
Okay.
I love India's freedom. And now over 60 years, I enjoy India's freedom.
Right.
As a result, you see, meeting with different people, and now today, one Chinese also, you see, told me, one my old friend, one Chinese,
right,
visit China, very important, but the permanent residence must be India.
Oh, okay.
That's and then also, you see, that person, you see, express to me the Dalai Lama's big name, you see, created by Westerner, so I must go Western countries.
That's true. I believe you used to know Xi Jinping's father in the 1950s. How was it? I mean, how did you know him?
Oh, I think his what's the position? Secretary or something, Zhou Enlai. So when 54, I went to China. I developed very good relation. Firstly, Chairman Mao Zedong, and I really admire him as a revolutionary.
Okay.
And Marxist, wonderful. Particularly the last day. I'm leaving the next day from Peking. Mao Zedong called me, meet. We already, official very well, already sort of done. But all of a sudden, I received one message from Mao Zedong's sort of office.
Okay.
Mao Zedong waiting there, want to meet me. Then I went. At that time, I was in a meeting. I say one sort of the deputy my office was the Liu Shaoqi is the boss.
Right.
And one of the vice sort of the leader, I'm one of them.
Right.
So at meeting, all of a sudden, one messenger come and Chairman Mao Zedong waiting there and want to see me.
Okay.
Then I asked him, told Liu Shaoqi, he my boss. So that he mentioned, then Liu Shaoqi immediately said, go, 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 go.
Okay.
And then I went to Chairman Mao's place, and he waiting there.
Right.
And he gave me very useful advice after return to Tibet, and how to, how to develop relation with the public and listen public's view. All sort of thing he advised me.
Okay.
Then he want to keep my contact with him directly. And then at last he mentioned to me, your mind is very scientific minded. So religion is opium.
Oh, I see. You said that? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
And
that shows I sort of my intelligence and sort of was clever. Chairman Mao's eye, he felt I'm non-believer. I deceived him. So he told me, your mind, very scientific minded, so religion is poison.
oh, okay.
Then that moment, I a little bit sort of shocked. And then in order to hide my face, I looked down my notebook and make note in order to hide my certain expression. Like that.
You were shocked.
So in any way, and then at that time, I really very much impressed about Marxism.
Oh, I see.
So I expressed, I want to join Chinese Communist Party.
Really?
Really?
Okay. In 1954?
Yes, 54.
Okay.
54, 55.
Yeah.
So then Chinese concerned officials say, no hurry, no hurry. After I came India, the Jyoti Basu, Indian communist.
Yes. He was the West Bengal chief minister later.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I met few occasions, and then because I have some impression, Marxism, they dedicated the socialism and equal distribution and emphasis right of working class people. So that's very right.
That's right.
Very right. The India now, not only India, now everywhere, the huge gap rich and poor.
True.
That's source of suffering.
Yes. So what would you advocate for India? Coming back to India, you've lived here, you've taught here.
Now wait. Now when I come India, Kansamani, the Indian border.
Yes, in Tawang.
Tawang. See, we felt India is our spiritual home.
Okay.
We always look India as a sacred land.
Right.
Arya Bhumi.
Yes.
So one way, refugee. One way, original sort of, also the sacred country, all our knowledge come from. So we are very happy
to be here.
Then I'm longest guest of Indian government.
They don't mind. I'm sure that nobody minds in India that you're here. We really love you and we revere you when you're here. But you're not a guest.
So sometimes I sort of express some Indian officials. Once government of India say, now no longer a guest of Indian government, then I have to think where I should go.
If they say, they won't say.
they won't say. Quite sure.
Yes.
So now in India, as a result of meeting with different people, and then I have now 4 commitments.
Okay.
Number 1 commitment, I am one of the 7 billion human beings.
Right.
Human being by nature, now scientists say we are social animal.
Yeah.
Therefore, basic human nature is more compassionate.
True.
And more compassionate sort of mind, their physical condition better. Constant anger, constant hatred is very bad for immune system.
Right.
That's how the scientists say.
Exactly.
So my number one commitment is try to promote basic human value, human nature on the basis of human nature, compassion. Again, according Indian sort of tradition, secular way, not religion, secular way, mainly based on science. That's my number one commitment. I think the number of my friends in different country now really showing some interest about basic human value.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Then my second commitment is religious harmony. Now I fully convinced religious harmony is possible. Look, India,
Exactly.
all major religious traditions live together
Absolutely.
and mutual respect.
Right.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
So world need that India's tradition, religious harmony. When I saw television, Shia and Sunni, or unfortunately in Burma, Buddhist Islam.
Right.
Very sad. Religion, all religion carry message of love. And then that tradition itself now causing division, killing.
True.
Very sad. So we need special effort promote religious harmony. India is example. So that's my number two commitment.
Right.
Number three commitment regarding Tibet. Now Tibet's political matter, as I already mentioned, I retired. Now my main sort of concern is Tibetan environment.
Okay.
High altitude, dry climate. Some Indian friend, they say, under such sort of condition, they damage environment or revival because of high altitude and dry climate take longer time. So ecology in such condition is quite delicate. So we should pay more attention, preserve ecology.
Ecology and the environment, yes. Right.
And then Tibetan knowledge, as I already mentioned,
Must be preserved.
all Indian ancient Nalanda knowledge we kept. Now whole world, I think Nalanda knowledge available only among Tibetan tradition. The Burma, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, these Pali tradition.
Okay.
And China, as I mentioned earlier,
Communism.
is a Nalanda tradition, but a communist country. And then Mongolia, also difficult. So Tibet also, actually, you see, we also lost our own country. But handful Tibetan here, we kept Nalanda tradition intact.
Yeah.
We study these sort of Nalanda tradition, psychology and philosophy, or so on.
Right.
These at least 20, 30 years study.
That's true.
We still kept these.
Traditions.
So that I feel very important. Although we Tibetan carry these things, this subject actually, you see, the great potential to bring peace among the humanity, whole world,
Correct.
as an academic subject, secular way,
Right.
not religion.
That's your third commitment, you said. That's your third
Then
commitment.
now, third commitment. And then fourth commitment, now I feel India is the only nation who can combine modern education and ancient Indian knowledge, how to sort of keep peace of mind through practice of ahimsa and karuna. And over 3,000 years already developed this country practice of shamatha, practice of vipassana. So now these really India's sort of rich tradition over 3,000 years. And through that way, Sangha philosophy, Sangha tradition, and then the Karsa, Jain tradition, then Buddhist tradition, on the basis of ahimsa and the karuna.
Right.
So these are Indian tradition. So now India should combine modern education and the ancient Indian knowledge combined. Then modern education bring material development. Ancient Indian knowledge bring inner peace, secular way.
That is important.
So now India have great potential to offer world how to keep peace of mind. In order to do that, firstly, within India, you see, should sort of start through education, not through prayer,
Right.
not through ritual, but through education. The combination, modern education and ancient Indian knowledge. So now for that, my now fourth commitment is ancient Indian knowledge we kept. Now this, through education, must revive in this country.
That's a very big commitment, and I think you will be able to lead that. But as somebody who's respected the world over, how do you see the next generation of Tibetans taking forward the struggle for more autonomy, more...
Tibetan determination, very firm. Generation since 50s, generation past, but new generation, their determination as strong as the previous generation, very strong. So physical level, Chinese occupied, but Tibetan spirit or mental level, they never control. So it's a Tibetan spirit combination with Buddhism, Buddha Dharma, Nalanda tradition,
Right.
very strong. Now, the China invader, they themselves more and more, also the number follow Tibetan tradition, Tibetan Buddhism. So the Chinese control Tibet by weapon. We influence their mind. So long run, our sort of influence is more stronger than their weapon.
That's true.
Quite clear.
Absolutely.
100%. I think I show 100% sure. So, you see, in early 70s, we decided not seeking separation, remain within the People's Republic of China.
Right.
Now seems, you see, firstly, as Pandit Nehru's sort of advice, that is a realistic approach. Not only that, I think immense help to Chinese Buddhists.
By not going into confrontation.
Yes.
There's no confrontation there. So one final question, sir. I know your time is very precious and I'm grateful for your time. But one final question. India has been your home for 61 years now. What advice would you give to Indians and Indian government?
Indian government, I think the most populated democratic country, wonderful. And the Prime Minister mentioned at the UN, India, land of Buddha. He mentioned. So now, in education, India should revive as I meant earlier, ancient these things. Now, in the past, you see, we consider you Indian as our guru, our teacher, we consider Chela. India Guru's Chela. I usually describe we are reliable Chela.
Reliable Chela.
Because, you see, we kept all ancient Indian knowledge, we kept. So that quite sufficient to prove we are reliable Chela. So now, the reality, traditionally you are our guru. Now you too much modernized. So you lost this knowledge.
It's come to you.
So now the reality, the traditional Chela now become guru.
Guru. That's true.
Traditional guru now become
Chela.
new Chela.
New Chela. Yes, that's true. Very much so. Thank
So
you
that's
very
my commitment.
Right.
India, secular way, must revive these ancient Indian knowledge, how to keep peace of mind.
That's right.
World need these things.
Right. And that's where. So, do you ever feel let down by India? Have you ever felt
No.
disappointed?
No, never. Never. I think now, perhaps, frankly speaking, the Dalai Lama become more popular whole world. So India also needs that person.
That's true. Exactly. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time and your blessings.
Thank you.